That point we read, and then we saw the first day of Brahma, 14 Manus in one day. And how the 28th millennium we are all there. Which is some 120 million years have passed since the battle took place in the river Narmada, Mataji.
So basically, thank you, Mataji.
You're muted, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
I'm on mute. Oh. I'm not audible?
Your
No,
voice
Mataji.
sometimes goes very
Yeah.
soft.
You are audible, Mother.
Now is it okay?
Now we can
Now
hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mataji. That's it. I remember. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. So basically, we are in this story of Vrtrasura, right? So it started with Indra committed an offense. Anybody remembers that part?
When Indra's guru Brihaspati came to visit,
Correct.
he didn't pay respect.
Correct. He offended his spiritual master Brihaspati, and that's why demons attacked them, and they took shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he asked them that you please make Vishwarup as your priest. And he was performing a sacrifice, a yajna for the demigods. And then what happened? Anybody remembers?
He performed the yajna both for asuras and devas.
Correct.
Yeah.
He was, yes. And he was offering oblations for demons also. And so Indra, what Indra did then?
He
Indra killed him.
beheaded he killed the.
Indra pacified the demi.
Yes, he beheaded Vishwarup, right?
Yes.
And then Vishwarup's father, who is Vishwarup's father?
Vishwarup.
Twashta.
Correct, Prabhuji.
Twashta.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, Twashta. So he actually performed, he was performing a sacrifice, and from that yajna came this great, this fearful demon, Vrtrasura, right? So you are, all of you know till this part of the story. And we are in this chapter now, the battle between the demigods and Vrtrasura, correct? So I'll share the screen. We'll start with shloka number 23 today. Yes, Sindhu Mataji, you want to recite the shloka?
Yes, Mataji. Sure.
Yes.
Okay, text 23, 6.10.23. Shulai parasvadhai khadhai satagni bhushundi sarvato vakiran shastrair ashtraischa vibudharshabhan. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Armed with lances, tridents, axes, swords, and other weapons like satagnis and bushundis, the demons attacked from different directions and scattered all the chiefs of the demigod armies.
Yes. So this battle, yes, Hare Krishna. So battle is going on, and these demons are attacking the demigods. Yes. Who wants to recite this shloka? We'll recite 2-3 shlokas and then I will explain, because this is just description of weapons of demigods and demons, right? And how they are attacking.
I'll recite, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Nati drishyanta sanchanaha sharajjalaiha sammantataha pukanu punka दैर्ज्यो Imshiva na bhoganai.
Yes. Please read the translation.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As the stars in the sky cannot be seen when covered by dense clouds, the demigods being completely covered by networks of arrows falling upon them one after another could not be seen. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So demigods are attacking, demons are attacking demigods very fiercely. They are completely covered by network of arrows. Yes, next shloka. Who wants to recite?
Shall I try, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Then-
Nate Shastrastra Varsauga Hya Sedu Sura Sainikan Chinna Siddha Pate Devair Lagu Hastai Sahasrada.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Shri Prabhu. The showers of various weapons and arrows released to kill the soldiers of the demigods did not reach them because the demigods, acting quickly, cut the weapons into thousands of pieces in the sky. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes. So demigods are now giving answer to demons attack, isn't it? So they are counter attacking. Yes. Who wants to recite? Yes, anybody? Yes, nobody wants to.
I'll do it, Mataji.
Yes.
Adakshinaastra shagnau Shrungadrumopalaiha Abhyavarshan Surabalam Chidustamscha Purvavat.
Yes.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As their weapons and mantras decreased, the demons began showering mountain peaks, trees, and stones upon the demigod soldiers. But the demigods were so powerful and expert that they nullified all these weapons by breaking them to pieces in the sky as before. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Read this shloka and then we will have little explanation. Yes. Who wants to recite?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Tan Akshadan Swasti Mato Nusamya Sastrastra Mukai Ataprishanadaha Kumai Trishabdir Vivida Trishungair Avita Avishatam Sastrasu Indra Sainikan. Hare Krishna Mataji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. When the soldiers of the demons, commanded by Vrtrasura, saw that the soldiers of King Indra were quite well, having not been injured at all by the valleys of weapons, not even by the trees, stones, and mountains, peaks, the demons were very much afraid.
Yes.
Hare Krishna
Now,
Mataji.
yes, thank you, Mataji. So now we know that demigods had the weapon made by the Diji Rishi's bones, isn't it? You know that, right? The demigods approached the Diji Rishi and they asked for his bones, and now they have made a thunderbolt out of his bones, and now they are fighting with that weapon. So now demigods, they are not at all, demons are attacking them, but they are not able to do any harm, any single injury to the demigods. So now they are afraid because seeing the demigod's power, right? So now just little description on this is now what do you think, who is the hero in this battle and who is the villain in this battle up to this point? Who are heroes and who are the villains?
Vrtrasura, the villain.
Who?
Vrtrasura is the villain.
Vrtrasura and demigods are the
Demigods are the heroes.
Correct. Indra is the hero, Vrtrasura is the villain. But now, as we will progress, you will understand maybe at the end of this pastime, we will understand that Vrtrasura is real hero, not Indra. Okay, that we will understand. And how Vrtrasura is hero, that we will gradually come to know. But now, in further shlokas, you will see that Vrtrasura is now going to speak Bhagavatam on this battlefield. Okay, and he is going to say the principles of pure devotional service on the Madhurya level. Those principles he is going to talk about. Though he is a demon, he is going to speak all these things. And Vrtrasura is also going to say some prayers in the next chapter. At the end of the next chapter, you will see that is so so much sweetness and madhurya is there in those prayers. All of you might be knowing Gopi Geet, the prayers which gopis did for Lord Krishna. So these prayers of Vrtrasura, they are after Gopi Geet. These are the prayers. These prayers are glorified. So important and so sweet prayers are these by Vrtrasura. Okay, so we will gradually be covering all these things. So now demons first scattered the demigods, and now demigods counterattack, and now they are not at all defeatable by demons. So demons are afraid, they are fearful of the power of demigods, and now they what they will do, we will see that in next 2-3 shlokas. Okay, we'll do next shloka. Yes. Anybody wants to recite?
Yes, Mataji. May I?
Yes, Mataji.
28th, right?
Yes.
28. Sarve prayasha abhavan vimogaha कृथा देव गणेषु दैत्यैः कृष्णानुकूलेषु यथा महत्सु शूद्रैः प्रयुक्ता युषातिरुक्षा वाचः. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When insignificant persons use rough words to cast false, angry accusations against saintly persons, their fruitless words do not disturb the great personalities. Similarly, all the efforts of the demons against the demigods who were favorably situated under the protection of Krishna were futile. Purport: there is a Bengali saying that if a vulture curses a cow to die, the curse will not be effective. Similarly, accusations made by demoniac persons against the devotees of Krishna cannot have any effect. The demigods are devotees of Lord Krishna, and therefore the curses of the demons were futile.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Yeah, so here one important point is mentioned, that we see that the demigods are protected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, correct? And so they are not affected by the demoniac weapons. So insignificant people accuse saintly people, but it does not affect them. It does not affect the saintly people. Why? Because example here Bengali saying is given that if a vulture curses a cow to die, the curse will not be effective. So accusations by demoniac people do not affect saintly people. That is the lesson from this. So demons are trying their best. No, they are taking mountains and trees and whatnot to defeat demigods, but it is nothing is of use. They are not able to do anything. They are not able to do a single injury to the demigods. Correct. So this is the important point, because demigods have taken shelter of the Lord. Demons are not able to defeat demigods. Yes. Next shloka. Yes. Who wants to recite?
I will recite, Mataji.
Yes.
Hare
Yes, ma'am.
Tesva prayasam vitatam nirikshyam harau abhakta hata yuddha darpaha palayana mukhe visrijya patim manaste dadur atta sharaha. Hare Krishna Mataji. Sorry.
No problem,
Translation.
Mataji.
The Asuras, who are never devotees of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, lost their pride in fighting when they found all their endeavors futile. Leaving aside their leader, even in the very beginning of the fight, they decided to flee because all their prowess had been taken away by the enemy. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yes. So now these demons, they have started running from the battlefield. And now Vrtrasura is going to speak. Correct. And as I said, he is going to speak such amazing principles. We will see that. So let us read this shloka, and then we will again talk about it. Yes. Who wants to recite? Anybody? Or should I recite? Vrtrasuranstan manasvi pradhavatah preksha babhasha etat palayitam preksha balam cha bhagnam bhayena tivrena vihasya viraha. Anybody wants to read the translation?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Rohini Mataji.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Seeing his army broken and all the asuras, even those known as great heroes, fleeing the battlefield out of intense fear, Vrtrasur, who was truly a great-minded hero, smiled and spoke the following words. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So now Vrtrasur will begin speaking, and he will tell them that don't run like this, don't be afraid, and he is really going to speak great principles to them. Okay, so we will start with that, but before that I just want to ask you something. Can you remember any personality from the Shastras who is similar to Vrtrasura? Okay, we will have,
Kumbhakarna.
yes.
Kumbhakarna.
Not Kumbhakarna. I just similarity in
Okay,
the
sorry.
sense, not no problem, Mataji. Not in the sense ki a demon, but I just want to compare him to Bhishma. Okay, Bhishma Dev. Everybody of you know Bhishma Dev, right? So just can you find in similarities between these two personalities? You can tell one point maybe.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Deva was a great devotee of the Lord, but actually he acted like an ignorant person and fought against Lord Krishna.
Correct. Right. And Vrtrasura also did the same thing, right?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, very good. Thank you, Mataji. Any other point? Yes, anybody else wants to add to this? Okay, so both of them, they were great devotees of the Lord. They are great fighters. You must have read the description how Vrtrasura was fearful and how powerful he was. So both of them great fighters, and as Mataji said rightly, both of them devotees of the Lord, but they were in the opposite party. Correct? They fought from the opposite party, and still they want to serve the Lord. That is also. And one more point is, both of them, they told their opponent how to kill them. Do you agree with this?
Don't know about Vrtrasuras, but Bhishma.
Bhishma, yes. Bhishma tell Pandavas, right? If you keep Shikhandi in front, I will not, I will not fight at that time. But Vrtrasur also, it will come in the subsequent coming chapters, that Vrtrasur also, Indra reminded Indra that you have this thunderbolt made of Dadichi's bone, so you please kill me with that. So that Vrtrasura reminded. Okay. And one important point with both of them is that though they were devotees of the Lord, but they were misunderstood by the people. Do you agree with this?
Yes, Mataji. I
Yeah,
agree
Bhish-
with Bhishma till I came to know. from
Correct. Bhishmadev
Mataji.
also, and this Vrtrasur also. Correct. So
Mataji,
yes.
Vrtrasura in this life,
Huh?
was he doing he knew about the Lord, Mataji?
Yes.
That was not given in the earlier.
It
Only
will come.
Chitraketu, we knew that he was very such
He
a great
knew.
devotee.
He knew that. He knew. It will come, Mataji. It will come in subsequent chapters.
Oh, okay, Mataji.
We will. Next chapter is qualities of Vrtrasura. Hai na, Mataji? So in that it will come.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. So both of them, they were misunderstood. So many. They and still they kept on doing their service. That is the most important thing about them. Bhishmadev also, so many doubts were raised about him, and Vrtrasur also, demigods wanted to kill him. Rishis also cursed him that he will die, and he himself also wanted to die. Why? Because he wanted to go back to home, back to Godhead. Correct. So that's why these two personalities are similar in all these respects. And in spite of all these things, they continued. We can think for ourselves that if we are serving in the temple or somewhere, and if we the devotees around us, if they start doubting about our service, it will be so difficult for us to continue with the devotional service. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
But these devotees of the Lord, in spite of everything, they continued. That is the glorious part of both of these characters, we can say. We have examples of Haridas Thakur also. Haridas Thakur, he just wanted to chant Maha Mantra, and he just wanted to totally absorbed in the Lord's names. But Ramchandra Khan, he could not digest the glory of this Vaishnava, and so he made plans to so that Haridas Thakur will fall down. Correct? We know that he sent prostitute and all. We know that story, right? Similarly, Srila Prabhupada's life also, we see that his God brothers misunderstood him. Okay, so when he went around the world and he preached, he was trying to preach the message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, in Gaudiya Math, they were saying that no, he is a businessman and he already he travels so many times. So he is just, no, he is just continuing that propensity. So they were not at all appreciating him. Okay. And then when he conducted marriages of his disciples, so they were, they were saying that what kind of sannyasi he is. He is, should a sannyasi sit like this in a marriage yajna? Okay, so they were saying like that, and Prabhupada then said that there was nobody else, and it was my duty to bring them to proper culture. Correct. And I was sending letters here in India to send some devotees there, but they did not do it. So it was totally my responsibility, and so I did that. Okay. So person like Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of this International Society for Krishna Consciousness, he also was misunderstood many a times, but despite of all these difficulties, he did not give up the mission. Correct. He continued serving in the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That we should keep this important thing in mind. And same thing Vrtrasura is doing here. Though demigods want to kill him, but still he is continuing with his service. And also, one more thing is, there is Indra problem. Little problem with Indra is that he is committing mistakes so many times, isn't it? So, what first mistake did he did do?
Disrespected
He
his
disrespected his
Correct.
guru.
Then what did he do?
He killed Vishwarup.
He
Killed
killed
him.
Vishwarup.
Mhm.
Again, that was not a mistake, but again he asked for Dadiji's bones, right? Correct. So he is doing all these things. So what is the problem with Indra? We can understand that he has lot of material desires, correct, and he is so much attached to his post, Indrapad. He's so much attached that he wants to, he is fearful when something happens to his post, correct? So he is so much attached to material desires, and that's why he's committing mistakes again and again. That we should understand. Okay. So these 2 points I wanted to tell. And now we'll go to the next, we'll read the next 3 shlokas, and then we will discuss again. Because now Vrtrasura is going to speak, and what important points he is speaking, we will discuss upon that. Yes. Who, anybody wants to recite, or should I recite?
I'll recite Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Kalopapannam ruchiram manas vinam jagadavacham purusha praviraha eve prachitte namuche puloman maryan var chambarame shrunudvam.
Yes.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. According to his position and the time and circumstances, Vrtrasura, the hero among heroes, spoke words that very much to be appreciated by thoughtful men. He called to the heroes of the demons, O
Viprachitti.
Viprachitti, O Namuchi, O Puloma, O Maya, Anavara, and Sambhara. Please, Anarva and Sambhara, please hear me and do not flee. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. He's trying to stop the demons from running away, correct? They are fleeing from the battlefield, and he's trying to stop them. And now let us see what he tells them. Yes. Anybody wants to recite?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Please.
Text 32. Jatasya mrityor dhruva eva sarvatah प्रतिक्रियायस्य न चेह क्लिप्ता लोको यशस्थात् ततो यदि हि अमु को नाम मृत्युं न वृणीत युक्तम्. Translation by His Divine Grace. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vrtrasura said, all living entities who have taken birth in this material world must die. Surely no one in this world has found any means to be saved from death. Even Providence has not provided a means to escape it. Under these circumstances, death being inevitable, if one can gain promotion to the higher planetary systems and be always celebrated here by dying a suitable death, what man will not accept such a glorious death? Purport. If by dying one can be elevated to the higher planetary systems and be ever famous after his death, who is so foolish that he will refuse such a glorious death? Similar advice was also given by Krishna to Arjuna. My dear Arjuna, the Lord said, do not desist from fighting. If you can gain victory in the fight, you will enjoy a kingdom. And if you die, you will be elevated to the higher heavenly planets. Everyone should be ready to die by performing glorious deeds. A glorious person is not meant to meet death like cats and dogs.
Yes,
Hare
thank you,
Krishna.
ma'am. Thank you, Mataji. So Vrtrasura is mentioning a very important point here, that one who takes birth is definitely, for him, death is sure. Correct? He is saying that important point. At the end of life, death is guaranteed. No one can escape from that. And he is also saying that if you gain victory in the, as Krishna also tells Arjuna, that if you gain victory in the fight, you will enjoy the kingdom. And even if you die, you will be elevated to heavenly planets. So he is saying, anyways, death is inevitable. Then why you want to flee away from this battlefield? Better die on the battlefield, you will be elevated to higher planets, right? So he is talking about now death. And the biggest consideration here is about the quality of life, correct? How we live our life, and that will decide the quality of our death also, correct? Quality of life will decide the quality of death. So Srila Prabhupada says here that if you die like cats and dogs and live life only for sense gratification, then your life is also a waste and death is also waste, correct? Because you have done nothing in your life. And generally we know that people are struggling for happiness in this life, and they are only after sense gratification, and they are making plans, and they just want to fulfill their desires, and they are engaged in all these things only. So the time comes when death is in front of them in the form of time, right? And then they want to they have that hope that I will get some extension, right? So Prabhupada talks about a very wealthy person, and he wanted to give a huge amount of money to a doctor. Okay, and he said that please extend my life for by few more years so that I can my plans are not yet fulfilled totally, so I need to complete them. So please extend my life for few years. But Prabhupada says that the doctor cannot give 1 second more than the allotted time by the Supreme Lord. Isn't it? Nobody can extend life like that. Lord has given some time. We have it says that our breaths are counted, correct? So we, after those many, we are supposed to leave this world, isn't it? So that much time is allotted to us by the Supreme Lord. So nobody can make change in that. It is said that Rakhe Krishna Mare Ke, Mare Krishna Rakhe Ke. We know that Parikshit Maharaj When he was in the womb of his mother Uttara, he was saved by the Lord. But the same Parikshit Maharaj got the curse from that Brahmana boy, and at that time Lord did not save him, isn't it? So did not save him because it was Lord's will, it was Lord's plan that he comes back to Godhead. Correct? So whatever, whatever plans we make, we cannot change the plan of the Lord. That we should understand. And yes, and Vrtrasura is saying the same thing here. Correct? So we cannot overcome providence, and that is the absolute principle that we should understand. This is the most important principle Vrtrasura is speaking here. And what is Krishna's plan? He wants to see everyone to be Krishna conscious. And if one accepts Krishna's plan, then life becomes glorious, death also becomes glorious. We know so many examples from the Shastras whose life and death are glorious. Parikshit Maharaj is the best example we can see. Correct? But if we spend our life in sense gratification, then it is really a waste of time, waste of life, isn't it? So one must use his energy, his resources, his abilities in the service of the Lord fully, not partially. So Krishna talks about surrender. So surrender is never partial or conditional. Surrender is not does not mean that my plan is given to the Lord and he just approves it. Surrender means it is we should ask the Lord, what is your plan for me and how can I engage my abilities, my resources in your service in this plan, right? That is the total surrender. So that means you take shelter and you understand Lord's plan, and that way you get satisfaction in this world. So Vrtrasura, it is amazing that Vrtrasura is speaking such principles here, and he has accepted Lord's plan. Correct? Because Chitraketu got curse from Parvati Devi, he got this life, this type of birth, and he is a great devotee of the Lord, so he has accepted that curse. He had that power to neutralize that curse, but he accepted it as the plan, as the will of the Lord for him, and so he is looking to it as an opportunity so that he can go back to Godhead. So that is the thing we should understand, that how we spend our life in this material world is very important, because death is inevitable. Also, the number of years for which we live, that is not important, but the quality with which we live, that is the most important thing. So Prabhupada says that in America there are two types of trees, redwood trees and Sukhoi trees, which live up to 5,000 or 7,000 years. So Prabhupada was saying, just imagine, this is such a long time for a spirit soul to be in that body of a tree. Such miserable, isn't it? 5,000, 7,000 years, the spirit soul is in the body of a tree. Correct? So that's why, so that just number of years doesn't matter. What matters is what did you do in that lifespan. So Prabhupada was giving examples of Jesus Christ. He lived for only 33 years. Then Shankaracharya, 34 years. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 48 years. But why their lives are important? Because they did not perfect their lives. Not only they perfected their lives, but they also inspired so many other people to achieve the ultimate goal of their lives. So that is the essence, that how we should live our life. And therefore, uh, he he is again and again stressing that we should use everything in the service of the Lord, because we don't know death is going to come at what time. Prahlad Maharaj was preaching to his classmates, and they were just 5-6 years old, and he was asking them to become Krishna conscious and come take up to devotional service. So these children, they were saying, "Hey Prahlad, we are just we are small boys, and we want to enjoy. We have so many plans, and when we become old, we will take up to this devotional service, not now." Then Prahlad Maharaj said, "What is the meaning of old? Old means just before you die, and you don't know death will come at what time, right? So we really don't know how old are we. We cannot say, correct? So that's why we should understand this point. And one more example is there of Khatwang Maharaj. So he went to heavenly planets, and he was with the demigods. He was fighting very fiercely, and actually he left everything. He left his position, he left his opulence, he left his subjects, and he was in heavenly planets fighting very fiercely, and then demigods became victorious. And then they said that, Maharaj, we want to offer you some benediction or some boon. So what tell us what you will what should we offer. So then he just asked them, "Please tell me how much time is left for me in this life." And then they said, "1 moment." So what did this Khatwang Maharaj do? In that 1 moment, he fixed up his mind upon the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he perfected his life. So we should understand that this life is given to us. So how we should surrender it to for the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So if for a devotee, the time becomes his friend, correct? Because the devotee uses his time in the service of the Lord. Otherwise, the time is fearful, and that's why people in this world are very much afraid of death. Why they are afraid of death? Because they don't know what is going to happen after that. But for a devotee, he knows it is a plan of Lord for me, and I'm going back to him. Correct? So that's why devotees are not afraid of this death. So we will just read the last shloka, and we'll have some more discussion, and then we will stop. Last shloka for today. Yes, Divya Mataji, what will you say?
Correct.
Yeah, Mataji.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, Divya Mataji.
Daum sammataviha mrityu durapau yad brahman dharanaya jitasu kalevaraha yogarato vijahad yad grani virhasya yo nivrattaha.
Yes.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There are 2 ways to meet a glorious death, and both are very rare. One is to die after performing mystic yoga, especially bhakti yoga, by which one can control the mind and living force and die absorbed in thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The second is to die on the battlefield leading the army and never showing one's back. These 2 kinds of death are recommended in the Shastras as glorious. Purport. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport of the 6th canto, 10th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Battle Between the Demigods and Vrtrasura. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So again, Vrtrasura is talking about two ways of glorious death. Correct. So he is basically trying to tell all the demons who are running away from the battlefield that uh, you should have such glorious death and not the death like cats and dogs. Okay. So so a devotee basically he never gives up his service. Now, he can give up everything, but not his service. And that the feeling he thinks that how I can increase the quality and quantity of my service. So that is not a selfish desire, you can say, but if he is thinking of his own sense enjoyment, then that is called as material. So just I will Bhaktivinoda Thakur says there are motivations for service. So one is out of fear, one is out of desire to become happy, one is out of duty, and the other last one is out of love. These are the motivations for service. So out of fear is the lowest. Why? Because it's like some religious teachers, they teach that if you don't worship the god, then you will go to hell. And they say it in such a way that people are afraid and they want to perform the things. They want to worship the Lord, right? So there is a small story of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, that he was preaching in a college, in a campus, and in the campus of a university, and there was one Christian preacher, and he lot of people have gathered around him, and he was preaching to them. And Maharaj was sitting on the lawn, and he was just chanting his bhajan. And this preacher, he was telling so many things to those people around him. And at one point, he saw that he is a Hare Krishna. So he said to those people that let us go, we will go over there and we will preach him, and we will tell him that he is going to go to hell. Okay, so they all came there, and he started talking to Maharaj, and he said that you are going to go to hell. You have to surrender to Jesus, otherwise you will go to hell. And he was saying a lot of things, and he was challenging Maharaj kind of. And after some time, Maharaj just asked him, okay, then where you are going to go? Okay, then he said, I'm going to heaven. I'm going to go to heaven. So then Maharaj said, if you are going to heaven, then better that I'll go to hell only. Because if heaven, if persons like you are there, then for me, hell is better. Okay. So all the people around him, they laughed and, they kind of Maharaj defeated him, and all of them, they sat down to hear from Maharaj. So people, when they go to worship, they do service out of fear, then there is no understanding as such, right? And so that's why it is called as the lowest platform of service. And then people worship, people do service out of because they want to become happy. But when difficulties or problems come, then their enthusiasm also decreases, and they search for another path where they will become happy. Correct. So this is also not a very good platform of service. Then out of duty. So this is this is a stable platform, because the people here, they serve under any situation or any circumstances, because they think that it is my duty and I should do it. Correct. So that is they don't like Hanumanji. We see that when he was asked to jump over the ocean, he did not hesitate, and there also he faced so many difficulties, but still he considered those difficulties as opportunities to serve the Lord. Correct? And so he, when you do it out of duty, then it leads to the love platform. Correct? When you serve the Lord lovingly. Correct? So there is out of duty is a very stable platform, you can say. Right now we are doing we are all sadhana bhaktas. So we have not developed that kind of love the pure devotees have. So we are doing so many things out of duty only. Correct? But gradually we will advance to the stage of pure devotion. Correct? That we should be we should be assured of that. And the last one is out of love, that is the highest, and that is spontaneous. Correct? And the Vrtrasura, we can say that Vrtrasura was on that platform because he was fully absorbed in the loving service of the Lord, carrying out his duty with such determination, with concentration, and with fully surrendering to the Lord. Though he was in the body of a demon, he was doing his duty perfectly. Correct? So a devotee doesn't look forward for dying, but he just looks for his service. How best I can serve the Lord. So these are some of the things in today's section, what we learned, like how Vrtrasura, he spoke about these great principles, that death is inevitable and nobody that even providence has not provided a means to escape it. Nothing can happen. Lord has plans for everything and everyone, and nothing can happen opposing to that plan. That we should understand. Okay, so that is all for this session. So if you have any queries, any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll just revise the points which we discussed today. Yes, anybody has to say any comments?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes.
I have two doubts, Mataji.
Yes.
Is on a practical application. When both Parikshit Maharaj and Chitraketu Maharaj had difficulties, they took it as Lord's plan. So when should we take it as Lord's plan, Mataji? When we get difficulties, should we just accept as Lord's plan and keep quiet, or should we try to rectify them? How then?
Should we try to
solve them? Should we try to solve the difficulties, or should we take it as Lord's plan and just keep quiet, Mataji?
Okay, Mataji, for us, I'll just stop sharing. Yeah. So for us, practically, we should we should try to solve definitely whatever is in our capacity. We should try to do our best, but in spite of that, if it stays, then we should understand that this is Lord's plan. Okay, Mataji?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, for example, sometimes it happens that we lend money to somebody, and it is not, I mean, that person is not giving back. Okay, so you will remind him once, twice, thrice. But if he is ignoring, if he is neglecting, then finally we should try our best. But if it is not possible, then we should understand that, in the last life, maybe I have taken money from him. Now I'm repaying back. It is like that.
Okay. Yes, Mataji. So that will be pleasing to the Lord, Mataji.
Yes, yes. I mean, whatever situation comes now, suppose suppose our child is getting, after 12th, getting admission somewhere. Okay, so we should try our level best for the best college. But if we don't get that, then we should understand that yes, this is destined for him. We should not be frustrated or we should not be depressed, Mataji. That is the main thing.
Okay, Mataji. Yes. And Mataji, another doubt is if Vrtrasura is such a great devotee, why we are calling him a demon, Mataji?
Because
Is his body
it
different
was
from others?
is what did you say last part?
Is his body something different, or why are we calling him demon?
He had to take the demoniac body, na Mataji. You must have read the description of his body, how fearful he was, and what
Yes.
was his power.
Oh,
But that was again Lord's plan for him, right?
oh.
And yeah, like Lord makes plan, and Lord also glorifies his devotees also. That we have seen Bhishmadev's case also. Correct? At the time of his passing away, Lord personally went there to give him darshan, isn't it?
Yes, Mataji.
So that way, Lord takes care of his devotees. That we should understand. So this was also Lord's plan that Chitraketu Maharaj to become Vrtrasura, and he will be delivered and he will come back to him.
Okay, Mataji. So all demons are like that, Mataji?
Not
It's a-
all demons, Mataji.
Only Vrtrasura. So
Yeah.
demons have a body like us only, no?
Yes.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank
Yes.
you, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Dhanyavad.
Yes. Yes,
Mataji,
Prabhuji. Huh?
we are grihasthas.
Yes.
Our problems were within the four walls. Major problems were within the four walls.
Yes.
Is it not?
Yes.
So how we have to overcome these small problems in Krishna consciousness?
Like Prabhuji, can you little elaborate small problems like what?
Small problems like my children may not hear, in-laws may not hear, and there are some not coordinations may not be. At that time, how we have to take and how we have to overcome these? Because
Okay. Yes, Prabhuji.
yes, because we the grihasthas, yeah, we are not supposed to solve the problems in public. We are those were all that may affect our lifestyle, but whereas within the four walls, what we were facing the problems, that is the major than the outside.
Correct.
So in Krishna consciousness, how we can able to overcome these?
So, Prabhuji, basically, do you want to ask about the clashes with other people in the family?
Yes, maybe that also in financial problems also will occur in the family.
Yes. Okay. So, yes, any problem, Prabhuji, as I said previously also, that we have to first, basically, we have to keep Krishna in the center, in the sense we understand the supremacy of the Lord. So we see Krishna's hand in everything. Okay, that one thing should be there. And then these problems are all material problems. We know these are the problems of material world. So
Yes,
these clashes or financial problems, they are temporary, Prabhuji. That we should understand.
okay.
They are going to come and they are going to go, isn't it?
Okay.
So we should not compromise any time on our sadhana. Okay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
these clashes can be solved by talking, Prabhuji. Right?
Okay.
And financial problems also, we can take help from senior devotees or senior authorities in the institution, in the organization, right?
Okay.
That's why counselor system is there, because we have a counselor for with whom we can share our problems.
Okay.
Right? So that's why we can we have to discuss the problems, and then only we can find solutions for that. But one thing we should remember always is everything is happened by Krishna's will, and
Yes.
whatever problems I'm getting, they are temporary. They are going to go because they don't remain for a long time, isn't it? So that understanding should be there, and my sadhana should not be compromised.
Okay. Right.
But we can find, if you say a specific problem, then maybe Prabhuji, I can tell you more. To the
Mataji, I asked only in general problems.
General only. Okay.
Personally, belong to me, as I have involved in these activities. No problems were come within my purview. They will run away. So I have got that confidence. I don't care for all those things. I will leave to Sri Krishna. I will do my duty. I am not facing any such type of problems in my life. Right?
Yes, Prabhuji, it happens, and Krishna takes care of these things. If we are surrendering to him more and more, he is definitely take care of all other problems. And that also, difficulties also, if they come, that is for our purification, that we should understand, and that that is for our purification, and it takes us to higher and higher level of Krishna consciousness. Means, as you said, now your faith is firm. Correct?
Yes.
So you don't care what others say or what others think. You don't care, as because you know that this is the correct path, right?
Yes.
So that faith develops, and it takes us closer and closer to Krishna.
Definitely, 100%.
Yes.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Can I share something?
Yes.
Mataji, like you said, these are what problems we are facing are material problems. Like after joining, I feel, sometimes it's good that these problems come to, it's my perspective, to each his own, that it comes, because then the chanting becomes more, rigorous, and it's like, I feel that something has gone wrong. It's like, I feel it's good. He should keep sending, some of these material problems sometimes, at least, once in 15 days. So yeah, that's my experience, Mataji. It's just that, then that chanting process and that faith and prayers become more severe.
You become more intense, and you become more serious, and you become more sincere, isn't it?
Yeah, intense, that's the word. Yes, correct.
Yes, that's right. Yes, thank you, Mataji. That's what Kunti Maharani also prays, right? He give me more problems, more difficulties. Give me more and more, so that I will remember you always, right? So that should be our mood also. I know it is. It will not come suddenly. We have to develop it gradually over a period of time, but we should be thinking that whatever is happening is by Krishna's will, and so I have to see to it as an opportunity for my advancement. That is sure. Okay, so if nobody has to say something, shall we stop here?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna. We will stop here. Thank you so much for attending patiently. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Ananta koti Vishnu Vrinda ki jai. Vaishnav Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you. Dandavat
Hare
pranam.
Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. I will end the session. Thank you so much.